That sounds quite fun. Viewing parties?
I mean, it is a lot of fun to be able to do those. Oh, I got it.
Oh.
This is a haiku I made for caster Dreadnought. Misspelled, but I'll forgive you because he could not. You nailed it. You nailed it. And not only that, it rhymed, even though traditionally haikus don't.
No, you don't. It doesn't matter. It's
doesn't.
just that 575.
You just do whatever. Yeah.
Whatever your heart calls to.
That being said, with the criticism towards how it's spelled, I mean that is the traditional spelling of it. I just, I have to be the snowflake there. A couple other influences came in and it got weird, and A got dropped somewhere. But either way, no, I really appreciate that haiku. It was pretty. It was definitely better than mine. Well, I didn't even.
You didn't. Haiku.
Oh yeah.
So
I didn't.
yes, by default, it was better.
I'll write one. Don't worry. I'll come back tomorrow. I'll have the haiku of the century.
I'm going to hold you to that.
I hate you so much right now. See, the viewers would either forget or they would just spam in some form of a chat.
Oh, no, they wouldn't.
They would tweet at me angrily, but that would be the end of it. You, on the other hand, are going to make me look like a fool.
That is my job to do so. Here is the Battleground pool for the HGC and No Tomorrow with a Dragonshire pickup. I just can't, we've talked so much about No Tomorrow, but they've left their best map to this point, too.
Yeah.
Which is just even better.
That's
Dragonshire, this is the one place that No Tomorrow beat Naventic when they played in qualifiers.
It is. I mean, it would be kind of like, they got knife in hand and at the throat, they're just waiting to be able to, just finish the job at this point because they're literally just cutthroat, really, is their thought process. They are ready to go in. They are not letting go of anything here with their performance so far against Naventic. And Naventic, they have to find an answer.
I think they feel like we have to be first pick so we can get Rag, or we are just going to have to ban Rag, which is even more so.
Snapple facts. First rotation Morales is also probably something maybe to pull away from after experiencing it in that last game. And now that, this series is pretty much on the line, I expect to avoid a little bit of the Zul Jin.
Speaking of series on the line, Team Naventic is in a place where a lot of people didn't expect to be, which is down 0-2 after their first two series last week. Granted, those were versus Gale Force Esports and Tempo Storm. They had a rough opening week, to say the least. But now they're facing losing this series versus No Tomorrow. And when they start to look at standings and being able to qualify for the Clash, they really don't want to be losing these series at this point.
Yeah, it's getting down to the point where, they can't really afford to be able to lose them, especially considering some of the unknown contenders that are still, kind of lingering out there in the woods, which is going to be teams like Team 8 that they have to be considering and really looking out for. Things have really seemed to fall apart here for Naventic, and they're already making adjustments in this draft with their first pick, Tychus.
Team Naventic pick up Tychus, stealing it away from No Tomorrow, too. Very quick, easy choice for No Tomorrow to get Artanis. And I don't blame them. They had so many swaps that landed on members of Naventic last game.
Yeah, and Casanova has been just a playmaker no matter what hero he's on it, whether it be, looking for the swaps. He does very, very well there. If it comes down to him playing in the Ragnaros, he was doing very well with that as well. He seems to be a force to be reckoned with at this point here, and Naventic has to find some solution.
As far as Dragonshire for No Tomorrow, they picked Artanis Tychus before with no longer Tychus on the table. They could move into Li Ming. That was their other damage of choice. We're going to get Malfurion instead. And Malfurion, it makes a lot of sense too. The combination having Entangling Roots to go down is pretty much like having Entangling Roots for after a Stitches hook.
Yeah, it's a really good, just setup. It's free to be able to drop that. If it lands, it lands. If it doesn't, it's like, it's just a root, no big deal here. HGC is going to be the choice now for Naventic. This next one, though, I'm keeping my eye on. I feel like they might even pick the Rhaegar here, this high up. Yeah, they will. All right. It's mainly because, honestly, to be blunt here, I think it's just because it is the safest choice that if you limit Kenma's hero pool, and his positioning has always been struggling, to put him onto something, a little less popular, he suddenly becomes a very easy target. So I think that priority of the Rhaegar is a must-have, not only because he's the most mobile and usually the safest, but also just based on the fact that he could easily be pushed off in this ban rotation for No Tomorrow.
So No Tomorrow instead have, I guess, that maybe going to focus on the solo laner of Dragonshire for a ban now.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice that anytime that you are first pick and you can get some sort of damage dealer, a good damage dealer, your warrior and your support, it's a lot harder to try to deny something from your opponents in the second ban rotation. So I think, that would be the best hope, is to look at the solo lane, especially if Artanis is the one who needs to be up there. Maybe Thrall will be the ban here.
Dahaka. That's the one I'd be afraid of too. Artanis, I think, does well in any scenario where he skirmishes with the opponent, right? Like, Thrall doesn't win. Thrall wins by throwing lightning at you and going blow for blow, right? And Artanis does the exact same thing. But Dahaka and other top laners that have existed in the past, like Zagara way back in the day and stuff, they won through just raw siege. They just could clear the wave as fast as possible, and Siege always outbeats trading, so by banning that out, putting Naventic onto that Thrall suddenly becomes an even lane. That could have been really detrimental if the Dahaka had gone the other way.
By picking Tychus and banning Falstad, it feels a little bit like Naventic is testing Jason, but again, Jason has been playing for so long, even back with Team Blaze, where he had to play a lot of, even with them.
He made huge plays on heroes he's never played before.
Right, is gigantic. I don't know. It might be, though, a difference of who he's been playing recently that he feels confident on.
All right.
Varian and Li Ming. Airho sticking with Varian.
Interesting choice to see the Varian transition there, especially on another map where wave clear is going to be very dependent. Artanis, Malfurion, Varian, Li Ming. Varian, Li Ming, that is something to be feared. You know, kind of like the old school power slide or Murden Stormbolt into just the Wombo follow-up, but he can even lock down for longer. And if he transitions into, you know, Colossus Smash on his own, things really become terrifying. That being said, I think they're going to move the taunt route.
All right, last two picks. Who is the best choice if they're going to get swapped? Who can bail out? Valla would have Vault. Ah, man. There's so much follow-up to a swap.
Kill potential. I like it. And the Leoric. Jaina is one we don't see much of, but I always enjoy her. One thing I do love about Jaina is not only is she wave clear, but she brings that kill potential into the 4-man, which very few heroes really kind of do anymore. You either are committed to killing or you're committed to being able to wave clear. So nice and well-rounded, should be able to pair well. If ETC power slides that with Tychus, Rhaegar, and Jaina, should be a kill. The top lane is the thing that I'm looking towards now, though. Leoric into the Artanis matchup. Not sure how that works. I'm pretty sure Artanis is going to be the one who's able to pull ahead. Leoric can try and, you know, do that wave clear idea, much like the Dahaka, but he doesn't do it nearly as fast as Dahaka does, nor does he have the global, and he's pretty vulnerable. So we'll see how that trade-off happens, as Valla is the last pick here for No Tomorrow.
Jason, change your mount right now. Do not use that pleb horse with Valla that we saw you use last week. Please, I'm begging of you. So we have the draft, we have an Artanis again, and we've got a surprise for you guys at home.
Oh my.
So let's take a look at a bunch of highlights of swaps from last game to get us pumped for these Casanova swaps. Here we go, There's a swap onto Zuna and eliminate. That was the first, that was the 4th kill actually in the game. Sophia Smash.
And there's 2.
That was a so far.
And there's 3.
Zuna, goodbye. Zuna, Oh, even Jace with the follow-up Molten Swing just to add insult to injury.
He's not done yet. Let's go ahead and, right, thank you.
After the taunt, that's what we could look forward to too, because we've got another Varian, Artanis Dream. Sulfurous Smash dies in the swap.
My goodness, I didn't realize that this was like every moment. It's just a swap on swap on swap. Holy cow, that was 6? That last game, he was just everything about it, just completely obliterated. Casanova here is really kind of started from the bottom, and now he's here. You know, he's done very, very well, risen to the top, and it's amazing to really see the plays that he's been able to make here with his team. That being said, today he's been outperforming, and you talked about the tweet and the consistency and everything that he needs to provide to truly be a great player here in North America, but he is showing all signs of being able to keep up this trend.
It's incredible here in North America that we have a lot of the new blood making a name for themselves and fast. Look at Casanova today, and we haven't even talked about Yoda from Team 8, who had the highest KDA of any North American player from last weekend, from opening week. That is incredible.
Yeah, and that was the guy who was like known as like, you know, I am the solo queue warrior, and then he comes in first week and he outperforms every single player that we have here in North America.
Yeah, maybe that a lot of our old guard is struggling, things like B-Step, but I love seeing that new people are able to come in, have their first time in the top 8 teams of North America, and just put on a show for us. It's been fantastic. This is it for Naventic. This is the last game. They have to win every single one from here on out. And do you think that they can do it after being down those 2 games?
All right, this is a hard question. There's a game that we have to get into, so maybe we'll talk about it later.
Okay, we can do it get into the game. Let's get into the game. Game number 3 on Dragonshire. No Tomorrow's best map. Let's see if they can win the series right here.
No, on a serious note, to address your question, no, I don't. If Naventic falls here, I don't see them recovering. They are a team known for their momentum. They're a team that, you know, is known for their turmoil at points as well. And I can't help but empathize with the situation that they put themselves into, but at the same time, I don't see a turnaround point because it just seems too drastic too quickly, really. And we talked about it, you know, the ever-morphing family, when the only real family seems to be the true blood of the group. Naventic having Kenma and Zuna, they're the only two to exist since Bob Ross fan club started. And then every iteration since then, just swap after swap after swap. They're now standing together longer than they ever had, and we're forcing them, at being qualified for the HGC, to be together for even longer, double than they've ever managed to make happen before. And that is enough for me to really question the strength that they may have if they do struggle here against No Tomorrow.
Well, someone has to be the rallying cry for Naventic, regardless of if it's Kenma, Zuna, if it's one of the newer members like Big Impact. Somebody must be the rallying cry for them.
That's what they need.
And this is what they need. It seems like it's starting off strong, at least in this third game, that somebody did give the pep talk, because now Jason's already used the vault. He's trying to maybe bait out some of the abilities, gets behind the gate power slide. And a third kill very quickly for Team Naventic.
Remember that Jaina kill potential I was talking about a little bit before? One Frostbolt, sorry, it was enough to be able to confirm that kill as well. She is a very underestimated hero when it comes to transitions. Her team fighting can fall off, but if she does well in the early game, all is going to be well there. And we do see this top lane turn out pretty well so far. But Zuna on that Jaina, he started this game at a high tempo. He can't stop now.
He did get Deep Chill, which will be increased to slow whenever someone's slowed down, which is making it difficult for anybody to run away. Once Jaina throws out her abilities, Casanova has shield overload, barely awake, Cone of Cold.
Oh,
here comes Jason.
Zuna ends up going down the swamp. Oh my goodness! Oh, he confirms the kill. Casanova barely getting away to survive. Max range. He'll give the old shoop to whoop, send you back home. Thompster is now in ghost form. And what started as a very convincing early game here is suddenly turned around as Casanova is becoming a star.
This is good for No Tomorrow too, because No Tomorrow, the one time we saw them struggle the most was when they got behind in a game. So not being so quick to sit back and like play the catch-up game, getting right back into the fight, tying things up, getting even in experience, and even having both of the shrines for a little bit too. They're jumping in, Tiger JK goes for some roots. But nobody else in position just yet. Now they are. Kenma.
He's going to be stunned. He's going to be comboed. He's going to be going home there. Very well done here. And it's all about the 4. The Warbringer, you know, it is such a huge... It's not only is it a stun, and it's a point-and-click stun. Casanova is a point-and-click dead there. But it's not only that, it's the cooldown. The cooldown is huge. The reduction there. There's the stun onto Zuna. There's the slow. You're going to be going... Oh, he barely survives. Big kill with the peel. Oh, my. Tiger JK with that long-range downtown Moonfire.
Oh, no. Easy to go down. This is a bloodbath.
I like
this early game.
Don't stop, guys. This is who cares about the minions? Heroes are the only way to really, you know, gain rep. So keep this one up here. Tomster has left the top lane island for a short period of time. And this should be a double cap here for Naventic for only a small window.
Okay, the teams have taken a breath. Let's take a look at what has been done so far. 4 kills to 5 for No Tomorrow. Casanova's jumping in, starting to attack Tomster. People are rotating up from No Tomorrow. So the longer that Casanova can keep Tomster in position at this shrine, the better. People looking at the mercenary camps now, there's no kill. Fealty unto death, as well as block for Liort. This is the build that Sam was using last week too. It is the solo 1v1 Dream, trying to get block stacks versus Artanis, as well as Fealty unto death, so that he can have this consistent build up of health and mana. But when it comes to actual team fights, he doesn't have hardened bones, so no armor whenever he's in Wraith Block.
And we see the invade with 7 talents here picked up for Naventic, and they also have Jaina to be able to get that kill potential, which we just saw executed very easily there. They're going to be able to easily steal that, pick up the kill too. That is you can definitely tell No Tomorrow has not played against Jaina in a long while. Risking that, for instance, for Jason, it just there's no scenario where you're going to be able to survive that with a Malfurion support. It's just unrealistic. So post 7, it gets easier with Cleanse coming into play there for Tiger JK, but it's still not the solution. A lot of it is just going to be she struggles in full 5 vs 5. She thrives in anything 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4. So trying to avoid any of those scenarios is a must-have at this point.
Arrow's going to get caught and get taken out, and that should be... No, Casanova will pick up the Shrine in the top before Zuna can secure a Dragon Knight for Team Naventic, and Tiger JK gets bought too. This has just been a very back and forth. The Shrine control, the kills, rotations galore for both teams. Nobody's staying in the what is considered right lanes. Everyone's just running around looking for whatever ganks they can get. But Team Naventic is starting to get ahead with all of the Zuna kills that they've been able to get. Jason's going in, wants to tie up.
That's enough. The swap is going to land, and Zuna is into the back line, but that is a 1-for-1. The reset ends up hitting. Big impact, throwing out the spray and pray, doing a bit of harass. Jason is in a tough spot. There's Erho with the stun. Kemba is just obliterated there. Yo, Casanova, Rookie of the Year award. Right now, I'm calling it. I don't even know if we have it. I'll make it out of duct tape. This kid is getting it.
How did Tomsters get the Dragon Knight?
I don't know. I was so excited and distracted by Casanova that I honestly don't even know how that free channel happened. I was like throwing my hands. I was doing 360s, and then suddenly, bam, Dragon Knight out of nowhere.
Dread was dancing, guys. Can confirm. Tomster gets Dragon Knight. It's getting burned down rather quickly. It is a low or an early Dragon Knight. But Naventic gets 10 off of the back of it, too. A full level ahead of No Tomorrow. So No Tomorrow, you have to be careful in the way that they continue to defend the Dragon Knight. They don't want to lose too much. They've already lost towers on bottom and in mid. They also want to get rid of that Dragon Knight as quickly as possible. If for nothing else, then the fact that it was just picked up underneath their noses.
Yeah, level 10 is going to be the must-have when it comes to heroics on the side of Naventic. Nothing surprising. Ring of Frost was the choice there for Jaina. Which is not surprising, I guess, but we'll see if it's gonna. It has no real major setup outside of the ETC, so we'll see how much effect it gets. But that is.
Oh no! Tiger JK ran in to try to cleanse Vala, and through that ended up getting in position for another kill for Team Naventic, but Erho did save Talking Trees at least.
Yeah, that was mid-bite too. He was able to get the peel his very last second, ending up hitting that stun, saving Trees there. Heroic choices on the opposite side though. It's going to be very, standard across the force. We got Wave of Force out on the Li Ming and Rain there for Vala.
Yeah, it does seem maybe that Jason is used to playing tanky Tychus and is on a different hero now, someone who is significantly less tanky as Vala. So watching out with the positioning there, wants to be aggressive, doesn't have any sort of task to help sustain through along with Malfurion. Arrow's in trouble, this gets hit, Suppression Pulse goes down, a swap hits, big impact, Cleanse helps him out of that situation. Varian gets taken out in the Entomb, and another kill for Naventic.
Just split really is the biggest problem here. Casanova is now in a tough spot. He'll be going down. It's just split engagements here for No Tomorrow is really the problem, and that Jaina is only going to be amplifying that small struggle. Jason, same spot, different moment into the game, and luckily Tiger JK is there for the cleanse route to be able to get the peel.
Tree's going to throw out some of his magic missiles, Arcane Orb, through the wall, but the Giants will be taken once again by Team Naventic, and there's a lot of pressure in a lot of different lanes for No Tomorrow. With Shrines about to activate, 13 almost here for Team Naventic. Naventic seems to be, or are in much better control of this battleground than other ones in this series.
Yeah, they do look like they have more control, but it's still... They haven't had to go head-to-head, really. The full 5v5, I always put focus on that because if it never happens, we truly can't gauge it. Yes, you can always out-skirmish and out-rotate your opponents in that sense, but really in the end, if you ever can't win the full 5 vs 5, suddenly your composition is going to look significantly weaker.
But it's Dragonshire, where a lot more skirmishes happen in those smaller skirmishes. So it's possible that as long as they can keep this up, keep up the pressure with having a head, here comes a swap, nobody's caught, then if that's the case,
there it is.
Then Naventic just hope to win it before that ever has to become a problem of a 5v5. Gets for healing used on B-Kids, we can turn back around. He has Mosh Pit if he wants to go in, maybe trying to bait some of the members in. That's a big one. That's going to be 3-man.
Oh my gosh, that is a ring of frost behind it too. Instantly, 3 members are going to be gone there. We do see that Tychus has died onto the back line, but Casanova and Urho are just trying to figure out, can one of us even make it out of here alive? No slow is landed yet. Zuno has 1 Ice Lance left. It's going to hit the slow, and Tomb is there, and that is going to be 5-0 wipe with that Mosh.
Wow, that,
I guess.
That was beautifully done. Now we see where the Ring of Frost synergy comes into with Mosh Pit. Threw that down, didn't even have to step out of position. It just obliterated the members of No Tomorrow caught within. And that furthers Naventic's experience lead. The shrines are available. Leoric's heading up to the top so that Naventic can get the next Dragon Knight. Maybe start to put even more siege into the bottom lane, look at a keep potentially, or even the mid fort.
Yeah, and this capture up here is going to be able to secure the possible channel. 16's not up yet, but Zuno is there to be able to lock it in without the B-Kid. And this is going to be a sketchy position to be in if you are No Tomorrow, excuse me, because they were at a point where you know, things were questionable before, but 16 tier being closed in relatively quickly is the biggest thing to be fearful of here, because the game has gotten out of control too far before they managed to be able to make that full 5 versus 5 happen. And that small window that exists like on Tomb also last year on Dragonshire, and it's usually a bit tighter there as Tiger JK is ice blocked it out in that Tomb.
Nice block, but it goes down and he's still in trouble. Twilight Dream drops down on a lot of members of Naventic. B-Kid does not have Mosh Pit yet, and the Ancestral Healing was just used. B-Kid's getting fairly low. This is going okay for No Tomorrow, except for the fact that Tiger JK is being chased down by a giant dragon, and Varian gets taken out in the split. Swap goes down, Casanova dies, and a second kill for Naventic. Yeah,
and Jason Berry is going to be able to get that E out of there. Now Zuno's looking to try and get the kick. Cleanse comes out. Root is going to end up hitting as well. If Talking Tree's got 1 reset, that fight might have been a little bit different, but without being able to pick that up here, Naventic again is going to gain control, hitting that 16 talent here. That might have been worth, honestly, though, for No Tomorrow. Just the lack of siege and threat that they were able to see Naventic be able to get with that 16 talent here, and the fact that they only lost the fight, wasted the Dragon Knight the entire time. I'd much rather, I think, lose that and get closer to 16 than I would a couple other structures where lethal opens before I can manage to hit the same talents here.
It's a long way until 16, but maybe they can get there before the next shrines hit. Got to start soaking up in the lanes. Top's a problem, but with getting mercenary camps, eventually those will get into a place where it could be soaked. There's still a lot of possibilities for mid and bot, though.
Are we going to let this happen one more time? I'm just curious. Are we really going to risk this one more time, No Tomorrow? Wait, it's what, 3rd, 4th time we've seen this happen in this choke? It's just, it's such a risky area to be able to pick off these fights. Kenma doesn't have Ancestral Healing yet, but they're still going to risk it. There's the power slide.
Oh, he needs to stay stunned. He needs to stay stunned until they can take him out. There's a cleanse on Mosh Pit. It hits 2 more people, and Artanis gets hit through that, but it is ETC for Artanis so far. Airho slowly being drained of his life from Tomster. Ancestral Healing keeps Zuna alive, even with Talking Trees trying to flank from behind and get a kill on that. Ring of Frost, Ice Block, at least saves Tiger JK's life, but again, constant deaths on the side of No Tomorrow. Team Naventic get 3 more, only sacrificing ETC. 22 kills to 8.
Yeah, we're seeing the exact same problem that we've seen from No Tomorrow when they fell behind in other series. That, you know, I mean, not only have we seen them contest this exact same position and fail 2 times before this, but at least the first 2 times they were on the same talent tier. That one being the 3rd most powerful talent tier. They were behind, and they still are willing to be able to take those fights. So, No Tomorrow, they know how to turn it on. The problem is, maybe they don't know how to turn it off.
That is a good question. At least they can get some bruisers in top. Problem is, nobody's even remotely in position to stop Naventic from getting a 3rd Dragon Knight in this game. And now, it's a problem. Before, they got into a fight, whatever, they lost some people, they only lost mid-fort, but now it's keep pressure. Now it's Naventic looking at a keep. At least No Tomorrow will have 16 talents. They have bruisers on top too, so that buys some time there. But they have to start getting some kills in this fight.
Yeah, but this is it. This is the area to be able to do it. Once you hit 16, then you either wait for the Dragon Knight to die, or you're willing to take it afterwards. It doesn't matter. The swap attempt, yeah, and you boot past, you're going to look for the fight. We already see the cleanse coming out there. They're looking for the skirmish. Juna is not joining the fight yet, and Jaina is the most valuable team fight source they possibly have, but Urho eating so much damage Oh my goodness, the Twilight Dream actually got interrupted again. That's going to be a two-man swap. Casanova is in a terrible position. He ends up going down. But that was the fight that they were looking for No Tomorrow.
Yeah, things just didn't quite go right for them. Jason gets caught now in and Entomb. Zuna starting to work down on the core health too. Lior trying to bring down Jason, who vaults away in the nick of time. Zuna throws out to fire, keeping him in the back. Twilight Dream hits, but Varian and Tiger JK are eliminated from the fight. And Naventic are not out of this series yet, Dread.
Oh, but Big Impact actually getting split there, trying to dive over there. 50% onto the core. I don't think it is going to matter in Naventic. In fact, fights back here, that 1-2.
So No Tomorrow beats Naventic on their battleground. Naventic turns around and beats No Tomorrow on their battleground of choice. Things are heating up.
They are. It's really surprising to see that kind of go that way. That being said, Naventic's losses on their map choice were significantly more lopsided and aggressive, I guess in the opposite way around when we see No Tomorrow be able to pick up that map. So it'll be interesting to see. That whole game was literally watch Zuna get 3 picks at level 1 and then proceed to hope that they see an actual same tier, talent tier fight. That was really it, which is why maybe not as explosive as we were aiming to see, but I do think this next game might be a little bit closer.
Yeah, it seems like maybe Tychus or